آمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Honorable ulama, huffaz, hujjaj, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, viewers and listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. كيف حالكم؟ Alhamdulillah. My beloved brothers and sisters, we praise Allah and salutations on beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah, for the last two fiqh sessions for this year, I thought we're just going to deviate slightly from what we were doing in Kitab al-Salah and go into fiqh that is quite common at this time of the year. So inshallah, this evening and next week, Monday, as that be the last fiqh for this year, I'm going to be looking at the salah of the musafir, the salah of the traveler. And this is particularly useful for those who will be traveling, even if you leave the city for a day, or if you're going on a umrah, or whatever form of travel that you may have, these laws are very, very important, inshallah. So we are looking at the salah of the traveler, in particular, salatul qasr and salatul jam. I'll go into that, inshallah. So when it comes to the two well-known forms of salatul safar, the salah of traveling, the traveler, there's qasr and there's jam, right? Qasr and jam. Qasr means to shorten the salah, to make taqsir, and these words are important because you use it in the niyyah, and jam, to join. And some terminology that we need to be familiar with, inshallah, of course, is safar, means travel, musafir is a traveler, and muqim is a resident. So a believer in fiqh, you move between muqim and musafir. And it's important to know when the ruling of musafir applies to you, because sometimes it is possible for the ruling of musafir to apply to you and you have not yet left your city. It is possible in fiqh, but you'd need to know the conditions. Qasr means a shortened salah, and jam is to join. And then two words that are important for the niyyah, taqdeem and ta'khir, because we use them in the niyyah. Taqdeem is to bring the salah forward, to bring it earlier. Ta'khir is to delay the salah. In other words, it is not in its general waqt. And waqt is the period of salah. So there are some conditions, firstly, that must be in place for a person to be considered a musafir. The first condition, there must be a good or neutral niyyah for the salah, for the travel. So it is December, and the matriculants, they have throughout the country these parties. So, and the parties are not in all of the cities. Sometimes the matriculants, they travel to attend that party. Now that is not permitted. So the matriculant, may Allah assist all our youth and guide all our youth. But if a Muslim is departing the city for the purpose of attending a party, that's not good travel. So you don't take on the ruling of musafir. There must be a good purpose. So a good purpose could be visiting family, or to relax, or a holiday, all good. Holiday is also halal. Right? Then we have the issue of distance, that you need to travel 81 kilometers from the edge of the city. And the edge of the city in fiqh is calculated from the last houses of the city. Or if there is a geographic boundary, you can go onto Google Maps and you can see what are the boundaries of a city. Right? That also qualifies. But we generally in fiqh use the last houses. So from the last houses, the 81 kilometers begin. Then we may shorten the 4 raka'at salah, very important. Only the 4 raka'at salah may be shortened to 2. The intention for shortening or joining qasr or jam must be made before you make takbiratul ihram. So we did this in Kitab al-Salah already, that when you make your niyyah is made before you make takbiratul ihram. So you can't say Allahu Akbar and then decide, actually, you know what, I'm musafir, so this is not going to be 4, it's going to be 2. You can't do that after you've made Takbiratul Ihram. You must be clear how many raka'at you will be making before Takbiratul Ihram. And then a muqim, someone who is resident, should not lead the salah for musafirin, those who are traveling, in a shortened manner, unless there isn't an eligible person amongst the musafirin to perform it. So sometimes a traveler maybe goes to George and they want to perform salah. Now, if there is absolutely no one amongst them to make imamah, then they can ask the imam of the masjid, the locality, to lead. But then the imam can't take on the affordance, the rukhsa, that is afforded to or granted to those who are traveling. In other words, shortening or joining. The imam would have to follow the norm because the imam is muqim. So it is best if you are traveling and you get to a place of salah, a masjid, that you rather perform the salah as a group, or if someone's also arriving, then you can say, okay, traveling, okay, we're going to join, etc. You can get a jama'ah in that manner. So how far must someone travel to be musafir? There are different views that apply here. It ranges from 79 kilometers to 88. But the qawlul rajih, the preponderant view that we have in fiqh, is 81 kilometers. This is in accordance with the Hanafi and Shafi'i schools of thought. Okay, so if you follow the Hanafi or Shafi'i school, it would be 81 kilometers from the last houses of your city, okay, or the place that in which you have become muqim. So maybe, let's say you have traveled to Cape Town and you have become muqim in Cape Town, the ruling of muqim, you are a resident in Cape Town, you got the ruling, and now you're going to venture on. Maybe you're spending a week in Cape Town and then you want to go to further up the west coast. Maybe where Molana Rushdie used to live, I don't know, Langebaan, wherever, you want to go and have holiday there. Then you, of course, again from the last houses of the city, 81 kilometers. In the Zahiri school of thought and the fatwa passed by Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah and Shaykh Uthaymeen, they use the ruling as long as you consider yourself a traveler. Now, I've included this opinion in fiqh because it's a very popular opinion, especially amongst the younger. Many younger people contact me and they say, Sheikh, I take Sheikh Uthaymeen's opinion, or Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah, or I take the Zahiri madhab, that I'm still a traveler. I haven't traveled the 81 kilometers, but I consider myself a traveler. Is it valid? Yes, in accordance with that madhab. So, of course, you use the madhab that you follow here to determine the distance that must be traveled. In the second madhab, or the view that I've shared, there is no distance. But if you know that you are a traveler, it applies. So we then move on to, and this will be my final slide for tonight, inshallah. I'll conclude next week. What is the minimum and maximum periods that you can be a musafir? This is a very good question, very good point. And there's even a misunderstanding, a misnomer here. So, if you take the opinion of the Zahiri madhab and Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah and Sheikh Uthaymeen, if you are a traveler, as long as you are a traveler, there is no minimum and maximum period in that madhab. If you take the ruling of the Shafi'iyya and the Hanafiyya, if you take Hanafi or Shafi'i opinions, then we're going to calculate the period. And the agreed upon period that we have is that you are considered a musafir for 3 days and nights, excluding your day of travel and excluding your day of departure. So if we calculate that, your day of travel is not included. You are automatically a musafir on your day of travel once you've reached 81 kilometers. Then you get from the time of arrival in your city, your destination, you'll get 3 days and nights. And then your day of departure is excluded. This is critical. Now, here's a very good question that often comes up. People think that, okay, so they say, okay, I have 4 days, day of travel and 3. Now, let's say you arrive in Cape Town, but when you arrived in Cape Town, Your niyyah was to spend a week, right? You arrived knowing I've booked in for 7 nights, or I'm going to be staying with my family for 7 nights. That was your niyyah. So upon arrival in Cape Town, you became muqim. This is a very important point. Some people think I get the first 3 days as a traveler, then I'm muqim. No, it was based on your niyyah. If you arrived in Cape Town, your destination, and you knew without a doubt you have paid for 6 nights accommodation, you've already paid. There's no thinking about it. You have a niyyah, which means you become muqim upon arrival. Because you're going to spend more than 3 nights, 3 days and 3 nights beyond your day of travel. If you arrive in Cape Town and you're going to see the vibe, right? You arrive there, okay, I'm going to spend at least 2 nights in Cape Town or 3 nights. You tell your family, don't worry, I'm just going to be there for 3 nights. They say, okay, right, come visit me. So you arrive, now you know you have a niyyah of 3 nights, so you make qasr, you can make jam. You are a traveler. Now upon the 3rd day, the food is lacquer by your family. And you decide, you know what, I'm going to extend this. You ask the family, is it okay, man, just 2 more nights, right? You continue to be a traveler because you know that you've changed at that stage. And your original niyyah was 3 nights. And now the family say, no, stay in another 2 nights. Khalas, you continue. So in the Shafi'i madhab, you are permitted to do this up until 19 days. So let's say the 2 nights pass, and now you ask, okay, you know what? You're packing your bags, and now your cousin from another area say, you know what, come visit me even before you go back. Okay, how long are you going to spend there? Now, if it goes beyond your permitted 3 nights, then you're going to become muqim when you get there. But if you, okay, I'm just going to spend 2 nights by my cousin, the Shafi'i madhab and the Hanafi madhab, they permit you to be musafir for a maximum in the Shafi'i madhab of 19 days, in the Hanafi madhab of 15 days. You can do that indecisive traveling, winging it to the vibe, etc. But if you have a niyyah upon your arrival that I'm definitely going to be here, that is the ruling that you take on. So I'm going to pause at this stage, inshallah, with a reminder that we have qasr and jam. Those are the two. Qasr means to shorten, jam means to join, taqdeem is to bring earlier, ta'khir is to delay, right? And you need to be clear on what you are doing when the waqt is upon you. Next week, inshallah, I will go into what do you do in a certain waqt, how can you shift it, how can you shorten, and I will, of course, mention issues of traveling on the plane, and also maybe we'll try and throw in the fiqh ruling. If you are in your city, but maybe you're going to be traveling in the next waqt, can you maybe bring that earlier? We'll explore that next week, inshallah. Any questions regarding the fiqh of tonight? This is the hot topic, inshallah. People get excited to apply the fiqh of traveling. May Allah bless us, because it is a rukhsa from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We must be excited because Allah had given us this affordance. Jazakallahu khairan wa sallallahu wa sallam alayhi. Alhamdulillah.